In today's Leeds news, Mahady loan extension, Calvert-Lewin picks up award, Gray can go out on loan, Okafor praise for Farke clarity, and rumour mill stories on Gonzalo Garcia and Tyrique George. Hey folks, welcome back to the Leeds View for Wednesday the 7th of January with your Leeds United news. Hope the week is going well for you all. We've got a big game tonight against Newcastle United. We will have a watch along over on BigUp.com. If you want to come and join us there, you can. It's completely free. There's no ads. We also have a new game that's been put into the platform as well, a predictions game, so a chance to win some cash. If you're interested in getting some extra money in your pocket, you can go over there. If you fancy your knowledge on football, you can get involved, and that details are over on BigUp.com. Also, just contractual obligations. Fanatics having a sale on Leeds United clothing right now. The home kit is 40% off, as well as clearance items on training wear and other kits, and that detail is down below in the description. You can click on any of those links if you want to support the channel. Right, that's that out of the way. Let's crack on and talk about some news, and we'll start off with Leeds United under 21 goalkeeper Rory Mahadi. Leeds young keeper Mahady, who is currently out on loan at Scunthorpe, has been performing really well on his loan, and as a result of this, Scunthorpe have extended his loan for yet another month. Mahady has been performing really well and has picked up a lot of praise from the Scunthorpe hierarchy, as well as making some big saves in important moments over his loan so far. Mahady's extended loan is a youth loan, so it does mean that he can still play for the Leeds United under 21 side as and when they need him, and as long as the fixtures aren't clashing. So it's been a really productive loan for Rory Mahadi so far. Young goalkeeper with a huge future ahead of him if things keep going the way they are going. Let's move on. Let's talk about Calvert-Lewin. Fresh off the back of picking up the December Goal of the Month award from the Premier League, Dominic Calvert-Lewin has now picked up yet another award. It's been a really productive couple of months for DCL at Leeds United, but the striker has now been voted as the Leeds United Player of the Month for December in a fan poll. He finished with 75% of the vote. The number 9 scored 6 times in 5 matches across December and was a huge part of Leeds' current unbeaten run, and became the first Leeds United player to score in 6 consecutive Premier League games in the club's history. Ethan Ampadu came in second place with 7% of the vote, and Brendan Aronson finished in third place with 6% of the vote. It'd be great if DCL could bag a couple of goals tonight as well and give us a chance to beat Newcastle or get something out of that game. Let's move on and talk about another Leeds United striker. There were rumours last month of interest in Leeds United young striker Harry Gray and a potential loan option, but Leeds United's stance on the situation wasn't really clear, but that has now changed. According to Leeds United club sources, Harry Gray will be allowed to go out on loan this month, but only if the player himself has a desire to do so, and Leeds won't be putting any pressure on Gray to move out if he doesn't wish to. Gray has yet to make a Premier League appearance for Leeds United, but he could be part of the FA Cup squad on Saturday against Derby County and make his first appearance of this season. Derby County are one of the clubs said to have some level of interest in bringing Gray in on loan. Leeds Live state today that should a loan offer come in for Gray, and if the player himself wants to explore that, then Leeds will entertain the conversation at that point. Daniel Farke said last month that the most likely exits from Leeds United over the course of January would be under 21 players to go out and gain some experience, get some minutes under their belt and play some senior football. It would be very important for Harry Gray's development, but they're doing it the right way. He's still a very young player, even though he's an under 21 player and doing incredibly well for the Leeds United under 21s. But to give him that option of just staying and developing here before maybe going out on loan next year, if he's ready for it, he seems like a very confident young man. I would imagine if an offer came in from the Championship to go and play regular football in the Championship, I think he would probably bite their hand off. But they are giving him the choice on this situation should an offer come in. There's been Hull have been mentioned, Derby County have been mentioned, Wrexham have been mentioned. There's been several clubs mentioned with interest in Gray, so we'll see if it actually does turn out to be anything more concrete. I think we're all in the same boat on this one. We'd love to see him part of the first team, but if he's not going to be part of the first team and he's not going to play and Leeds are potentially going to bring in another striker, then maybe getting him out on loan will be really good for his development. Let's move on. Let's talk about Noah Okafor. Leeds United attacker Noah Okafor was speaking with BBC Yorkshire yesterday and had high praise for Daniel Farke and thanks to the Leeds United manager as well. Okafor says that Farke has given him his confidence back and has allowed him some freedom to be himself when he's on the pitch. The Swiss wideman says that Leeds still have plenty of goals to achieve this season, but is grateful that Farke is still the manager and one of the best managers, he says, that he has worked for in his career. He said that he has given Leeds clarity over how they want to play, and he is very grateful from the first conversations he had with Daniel Farke about what he wanted him to be when he was at Leeds United. And speaking to BBC West Yorkshire, Noah Okafor said the following: "He's a really good coach. He's so clear in what he wants, how he wants to play, and from the first day, I had a good feeling when he spoke to me. Yeah, he gave me the freedom on the pitch. Sometimes he wants small details, but I think he's a top coach, and for me, one of the best coaches that I've ever had, because he gave me my full confidence back, and he makes me how I am, and I can be how I really am on the pitch. So for me, this is really important, and yeah, I'm so happy that we are unbeaten right now and that he is the coach of Leeds. We still have so many goals to achieve this season, and we take it day by day and training by training. It will be a tough task for the Leeds United side tonight, heading up to Newcastle. The legs are starting to look a little bit heavy in recent games. The amount of intensity and output that the players have put in this unbeaten run has been incredible, and it's hard to maintain those levels, and they'll hope that they can get Jayden Bogle back involved in it and a few fresher legs in there. The players like Ilya Gruev and Sebastian Bornau just haven't had the minutes over the course of the season, and they've looked a little bit leggy in the last two games. But it would be brilliant for Leeds on the back of West Ham United losing last night. Even another draw tonight, I know it's a lot of draws right now, but it's important to keep picking up points when your relegation rivals aren't. So it would be another opportunity for Leeds to extend that gap beyond the 8 points that it is currently. As I say, there will be a watch along over on bigup.com. It's free to join. There's no ads. If you want to have a bit of a chit chat and a bit of a laugh while the game is on, you can come over and join us there if you want to. Let's crack on and get into today's rumour mill and some clarity on some existing stories that have been floating around. Short enough one today, but we'll start off with Gonzalo Garcia, and this one came up in November, and at that time it felt probably a little bit unachievable, and now, according to Graham Bailey, it looks like it's proven to be exactly just that. According to the journalist, Leeds United have inquired again about the Real Madrid striker and have been knocked back yet again. Leeds had hoped earlier in November to try and get a loan deal done for Gonzalo Garcia and a £17 million obligation to buy come the end of the season. Fraser Fletcher from Sky Sports at that point had the details on that, claiming that he was a player that Daniel Farke had asked the 49ers to try and bring in, a player that Farke has a huge amount of respect for. Leeds United and Sunderland are now said again this month to have both made fresh inquiries for Gonzalo Garcia, but Real Madrid manager Xavi Alonso does not want the attacker to leave. Endrick has gone on loan to France this month. He doesn't want to lose another attacking player. He wants to keep Garcia around the place. So according to now Graham Bailey, he says that both sides that have inquired from the Premier League have both seen their offers rejected by Real Madrid at this point. I think just from listening to the list of players that's floating around right now, there's a lot of wingers and a lot of number 9s very much being mentioned. We've talked about Artem Dobic yesterday as well. It's been a consistent trend over the last month or so. So I think we can start to get an idea, if not these players, maybe what Leeds United shortlist looks like. It's comprising of strikers, centre-backs, and maybe a wider attacking midfield option, which I think is exactly what Leeds United need. And another player that's been mentioned, that's been floating around for a while, is Tyrique George. He's been mentioned a few times, as I say, in the summer. Again, he was mentioned a few weeks ago, and there's a potential of a loan deal here as well for Leeds United. And that situation might change just a little bit with Liam Senior now taking over the job at Chelsea. But George was said to want to leave Chelsea, and apparently that's why he was left out of Chelsea's squad during their last match. According to a report, it states that George was left out as Chelsea do see an option of potentially selling the player this month or sending him out on loan with an obligation to buy come the end of the season. And as a result of that, they didn't want the player to get injured. George was the subject of a very heavy bid from Fulham during the summer. They had £22 million bid put in for George that collapsed on deadline day, and that might have had something to do with their decision to not accept the bid from Leeds United on Harry Wilson at that point. But according to the report, Chelsea would be open to negotiating an exit for George at this point. They do see value in the player in terms of a financial fee, but from a Leeds perspective, anything around the £22 million mark would seem incredibly high and unachievable for Leeds at this point. From a Leeds perspective, if they could negotiate a loan for the player with a potential option or obligation come the end of the season, they need to be careful with obligations as well. We've been bitten with this one before. The problem with an obligation is, should this season flip back the opposite direction and go wrong, Leeds could see themselves in the Championship with obligations of very high fees for players, with money they probably won't have at that point. But with the squad cost ratio model coming into effect next season, it would give Leeds United a little bit more of a buffer when it comes to signing players. So they might be able to bring in one now with a big fee at the end of the season after that PSR deadline passes and see what they can do. George, an exciting player, England player. would be good one to bring in. He's not played a huge amount of football this season, but again, would be that kind of attacking midfield option or wide option that Leeds United are looking to bring in and add to the portfolio of the squad right now. They do need a striker. They probably need a centre-back. There's more talk today about Danilo Doki potentially coming in, and Leeds, it's been a no-brainer one for Leeds to just go and get done. He has 6 months left on his contract, so Daniel Farke did say we're likely to hear something after the Derby game this weekend, so nothing before then, he said. So we'll see over the next couple of days. That will likely pick up tomorrow after the Newcastle game is out of the way and they get ready for that. And we'll likely see players that haven't really been playing for Leeds play in the match against Derby in the FA Cup at the weekend. We're not sure about the watch-alongs on that game just yet. It's quite difficult to get FA Cup streams in Ireland, but I'll let you know more as the week goes on. But yeah, that will be it for me today, folks. As always, if you could stick a like and a hype on the video, that'd be massively appreciated on your way out the door. And I'll be back tonight over on bigup.com for the watch-along, and also back on YouTube afterwards for the match reaction straight after the game. I will talk to you then. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'll see you later. Bye.